question tonight is, do you believe that the physical precious metals buying that's going on by individuals and banks over in Asia and in the Middle East will eventually be enough to break the ability of the Western banks to short and manipulate the precious metals market as they're doing? I can't help but feel that it's going to end eventually, but I was wondering if you think that that might have a direct effect on how it ends.
Okay, this next question comes from Silver Study, and I want to thank you for the questions. Very good question. And it's one of the things I keep on talking about all the time, that the big difference between this bull market and the last bull market is that 90% of the population that was excluded that last time is included this time. That there's going to be all this demand coming from places like Asia. And the question is, there's a gold and silver manipulation being done right now by governments and banks. Gold and silver are both being suppressed in price. Do I believe that the demand coming from Asia, both from private individuals buying and from central bank buying now, will this eventually overwhelm the manipulation? And the answer is absolutely yes. We are also part of it in the United States, though. It's the total amount of demand, especially for physical stuff that you can hold in your hand, not things where they may be able to, if you can't lay your hands on it, there's a possibility that it's part of the manipulation scheme, that they're sucking up your dollars and giving you price exposure to gold and silver somehow, but not actual gold and silver. The more physical that's taken off of the market, the more this thing's going to explode. They will lose control over it as the physical dries up. Demand worldwide is going to be huge, and to see that other governments are starting to encourage their citizens to buy gold and silver is really something. But again, I showed this earlier. This is investment demand. And this is the investment demand of the 70s bull market. And that drove gold from $35 an ounce to $850 an ounce. So you're talking a factor of 24 times its original price. This huge thing over here, that's the bull market of today, and it's continuing, and it's getting bigger. This is an estimate here for 2010, but I think the estimate is going to be way under what it really turns out to be. It's going to be a lot higher than that. This is the greatest gold rush in history. This has never happened before. This is big. It's giant. And I'm going over to, I just did the Silver Summit in Singapore. My book was introduced in Chinese and Mandarin in Taiwan in January. The book is now out in Russian, Portuguese, Italian. It comes out in Spanish in a couple of months. So we've got Chinese. Already, a book on gold and silver investing now covers, the languages that it covers more than half of the world's population. This is something, we just heard about a guy that bought 3,600 copies of the Russian edition of my book. And he's sending them out to everybody, So that is the difference this time. It's mind-bogglingly huge, and yes, they will lose control over this suppression, and the suppression is your opportunity. You want this suppression to last. You want them to try desperately every last measure that they can to keep on crushing gold and silver down, because the more they do that, the greater the shortages that develop and the higher the prices are going to go. So, until next time. Oh yeah, look at this. Okay, forgot about this. This is holdings. So this is global financial assets measured in trillions of dollars. And the bank deposits are these dark bars at the bottom. And then we have government debt securities. So these are basically treasuries, this lighter gray field. And then this dark gray field is private debt securities. So these are basically corporate bonds and stuff. Then we've got equities. So these are stocks, the light gray here. Then we have gold holdings. that's that tiny little fraction of a line right at the top of these things that you can barely even see. I mean, that is going to correct itself. That is going to become a much larger percentage of people's holdings of wealth. Right now, it's like less than 1/10%. It's nothing, you know. And this is global financial assets. That would include central bank holdings, I would believe, if it's global financial assets. So I haven't read. This is the 2010 CPM yearbook. I haven't read the whole thing yet, because we just got it. So I'm not sure on whether that's includes central banks or not. But either way, it's such a small fraction, it doesn't matter whether it includes central banks. It's absurdly low. It's going to correct itself. So, and the free markets will win. They always win.